Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. Using my over 20 plus years of coaching all over the world, I give you a different insight into actual real football coaching, and actually because I know what I'm talking about, unlike a lot of these ex-players. We've got a lot to talk about today in this Manchester United game, because there's lots of points to point out for you to either learn from or laugh at, depending on what your point of view is. So right now we're going to be talking about defensively. This isn't bad. We've got a guy here, he's not too close here, he's perfectly covering in the space in behind. Overall, it's a decent job. So we're going to get a little bit of ball movement here, which is perfect. Right, as we move this ball here, boom. So now what should happen is this. Defensively, this guy should come and pressure this ball. This guy should back up here and defend his mate. He should track the runner just a bit, but not too much. He just needs to be defending his mate, because remember, the most important thing is the ball. And I'm telling you now, Premier League coaches have no bloody clue how to coach football. I'm telling you this is the truth, because they don't understand that the ball is the most important. Because what I'm going to show you over and over again of what they've teaching their players, because their players are tracking runners, and what's happening is, as they track the runner, the guy on the ball gets all of the space and freedom in the world. And it happens throughout this game, and it happens all the time, but this one is just a classic example, because it's not just in the game where I can record the whole game and show it to you. Well, this is happening near the goals, so I can actually show you the footage a little bit better. I need to turn my webcam on so you can laugh at my hand movements and how much I move my hand in my head when I'm talking. I'm a very hand person when I'm talking. Okay, so now watch what happens. Okay, so this guy this guy's job is only to back up his mate here on the ball. Watch what happens as he goes. Right, he stops, he's jockeying. Okay, now he's got a little bit too far away. That's fine, but there's another run that's come across here with the other player on. That's fine, because he's not really involved in this play. It's these two defenders defending this one ball here. Watch what ends up happening. He ends up going back to this guy here, and he doesn't defend it, back up his teammate. Do you see that little sidestep there? That's the difference, right? Let's see if we can get it right. Okay, so there he is perfectly. He does a sidestep to mark this player, because what he's doing, he's anticipating the pass in here, and he's trying to cut it off. And he doesn't understand, he doesn't do it that way. What he does is he stands there, lets him pass it, and beats him to the ball there. That's what he's supposed to do. Instead, what he does is he gets there a little bit too early, because he's not good at the football. Watch. Do you see? He goes, and now he's going with the runner. All he needs to do is go to the ball, and he doesn't do it. So then what ends up happening is this, because he's going with the runner, and he's not going to the ball, and he hasn't backed up his teammate there. It's just terrible defending. All of a sudden, this ball goes across the box. There's a little run that pulled this defender away. Now here's a little bit of a dummy. Bump pulls another defender away, because they've completely stopped trying to win the football. They're just tracking runners because, that's important coaching thing. Someone once read a coaching manual, and I've done my Pro A license, and they say track the runners. No, win the football. That's the important thing. You know the round thing? That's the thing that gets you points, not running around marking runners for no reason. And that is exactly what happened right there. And then we're going to talk about this little quality finish here, because Marcus Rashford, he's not really good at the football, but what he is good is finishing. He's got two skills. He can run a bit and he can kick a bit, and his finish is in that kick a bit, and he can kick it a bit, and it's a quality finish into the corner. Bosh, have some of that. Passes it in. Very, very nice finish. Apparently he needs to go down to the pub a little bit more often, because he becomes a better footballer. Now don't get it mixed up when I'm saying this, because there's lots of players like what's that guy Mudryk at Chelsea. He would love to be able to run a bit and kick a bit. He can't really he can't really run with the ball very well, and he can't really finish. But Rashford can. Rashford isn't going to beat you by playing three little quick one-touch passes, because he doesn't have that in his locker. He's going to beat you because he's faster than you, he can run a bit, and he's going to beat you because he's got a quality finish, he can kick a bit. That's what we mean by when we say that. Let's get on to the next goal, because we've got a lot to talk about. Okay, so right now we're looking at a cross-field pass. There's a couple of things I want to mention about this as well, because I've been seeing a lot when I talk about this. You're going to see it all in the weekend in the games being played. So this ball's going across here. This man does a decent job coming out to defend it. Now, let me explain to you what overlapping's for. The point of doing an overlap is to exploit the space in behind there and break the offside trap. Okay, if you're doing an overlap, if this line here is here and you're trying to do an overlap into this space here, there's no point doing it. You will see this all the time in the Premier League when there's a player in the box here and the guy tries to do an overlap to here to try to get the cross in, because they don't understand what they're doing. What they really should be doing is making an underlap coming this way, getting the ball and getting a shot off, because they're so close to the goal. You can't exploit the space there because there is no space. Or you come back here, you drop the ball, and then you try to get your cross in. All right? You don't, but the reason I'm saying this is because this is one of the better overlaps that's actually happened in the Premier League recently. So when this ball comes out here, Bosch, you can see this guy's coming out. He's doing a good job. He's getting out there. Now this guy needs to go and help him as fast as possible. Okay, why does he need to get out there as fast as possible? Right, because his job in this situation would be to cover this gap, this space here. This guy here does not do it. He needs to stay central with him and keep that unit together. That's what these two centre-backs need to be doing right there. This guy needs to be close enough here, so if he gets beat, he can cover into this space here. That's what his job should be right here. Let's watch what happens. So as this goes on, Bosch, he's not getting quite close enough, but here comes that overlap from Luke Shaw. He's busting his gut over there, and is it a good overlap? Yeah, for the first time in quite a while in the Premier League it is, because of this open space here. This is the space he wants to exploit, so he goes running into it. Let's watch what happens, shall we? As it goes. Sorry, I've just jumped a couple frames forward because I will get copyright struck again because their Premier League hates me. Now this is what's interesting. You see when that guy, now he can't get there and cover that shape. Let me just show you that. Look, he's not understood his role. Do you see how close these two have got together now? This guy now hasn't gone over here to cover because he doesn't understand his role and responsibility. He is now trying to help pressure this ball here instead of noticing what's going on here. And you know what I was saying, tracking the runner? Well, he's not in a position to track the runner. You know, like I was just yelling, you don't track the runner, you pressure the ball. Well, you've got a man pressuring the ball and you have to wait. As soon as that ball's passed, you'll know your job is to track that runner when the ball is passed, because you want to get there at the same time as the ball to try to win the tackle. Let's see what happens as it goes. Dosh. Do you see how close he gets here? So he doesn't understand his role. He's trying to double up on a player here for no reason, because there's two people, and you don't need two people to win one football. You need to stay in your space and back up your teammate. If your mate gets beaten, you can block the shot and you can come in and make that challenge. Both of you stood there. Makes it really easy for this guy. You can just lay the pass off so he can get the cross into the front corner. Front post, front corner, yeah. That's a thing in football. We've just made a thing called the front corner. As he whips this cross in here, though, I want you to understand this guy here. Look, I love him. Give me the ball. I want the ball. I love that. I want to score. I'm furthest away. Give it to me. There's a guy right here. Now, this is absolutely... it's a bit unlucky, I suppose, because it takes a little nick off this guy here. But the keeper getting beat here at this front post is terrible. Ball comes across. Dumph gets it into the net box. Here it is. It takes a little nick. Dunk. Bounce goes through his legs. Hoyland gets a little touch on it and it goes into the net box. Bulge, there we go. But to be fair, they shouldn't be beating that easy. Well, the keeper shouldn't be beating that easy on the front post. The defender, well, yeah, I can accept that because it wasn't his job. It was the defensive midfielder, well, the midfielder who should have understood to come in and do that, but he didn't. Oh, a lot of that as well is because they coach this stupid 4-3-3 and they don't understand. If you're coaching a 4-4-2, you have this thing where your midfielders rotate and you come in and cover behind your left and right backs all the time. And because they don't actually do that or go through that process of coaching that system, and they haven't done that, they don't get, okay, that's what needs to happen in a 4-3-3. It's the same thing. That exposure on that left and right back is exactly the same. But they don't get that because they don't know what they're doing. Here we are for the dodgy penalty decision. I've got to cover it because it's an absolute shocker. It's never a penalty. I saw the what was it yesterday? Liverpool. They were playing Chelsea, and they were all screaming for a penalty in that game, and it wasn't a penalty again. Contact does not mean a foul. This is contact. It's not a foul. The game in the Liverpool game, it was contact, wasn't a foul. There's a difference, and people don't like. The reason why VAR is giving this as well, because I watched a little bit of this, there's a couple of reasons. One, the main one is they're not going to overturn the referee without being able to give him sufficient advice, information back. Now, I'll tell you now, all the VAR camera angles don't show or can't get close enough and zoom in to this lack of contact here. It just so happens it's kind of just in a sort of, not in a blind spot, but in a weird spot because other people are covering. And that's about the best angle you've got right there when it looks like he's tapping him on the shin. And of course, if they see that, they're going to go, oh, contact, it's a foul, it's a penalty. Why? Because the ref's called a penalty. If the ref hadn't called a penalty, VAR would not be giving that as a penalty. But because he has, they're not going to overrule his decision, which I think is pathetic, by the way. They back up the referee and go, yes, you're an idiot and you've got it wrong, so we're going to be stupid with you. That is not the right response. The right response is, you're being an idiot, let's do the right thing and let's not call it a penalty. That's exactly what they should be doing, but they don't because they're also terrible human beings. terrible human beings might be a bit of a stretch for you, but I've never coached you. You don't know how harsh I am. I'm not exactly pleasant. I'm there to make you the best you can possibly be, and I see that in everybody. And yeah, well, right now we're just going to watch this little kick into the net box here. Bosh, in it goes. Anana goes down. He's a bit bad at the goalkeeping. We'll come on to that in a minute, but let's get on to the next goal. This is the next goal. It's coming in from a corner. There's a couple of weird angles, but I'm really going to show you this one because I'm going to harp on about that point again I've been making. That this guy here, look, okay, it's a bit of a bundle. I love the bundle. Roar. But this guy here needs to go and win this ball. And he doesn't. He does, like, this is the weirdest goal I've seen in a long time. Basically, it comes in, hits this guy in the head, and it bounces into the goal. It's an awful goal to concede. This guy needs to challenge, but watch him as he moves forward. He doesn't even try to challenge for the ball. Watch. It just stops. It just absolutely stops in his tracks. I'm going to show it for this angle as well, so I can show you exactly what I mean by him stopping, because he's in full run. He's in full run, going to win the ball, and he doesn't. He just stops dead. It hits this giddy in the face, and it bounces into the net box. It's just all around shocking, the fact that there's a guy that he's just in front of the penalty spot, and he's really kind of unmarked, because this guy's not close enough to make a challenge, and bounces him in the head, and it goes into the net box. Shocking. But there we go. It's the Premier League. What do you expect? Got another corner coming in here. Another goal from a set play. It's a little flick on here from the front post. I'm not quite sure who gets that. It might be Casemiro. But it goes onto this back post area here. And the United keeper, I've watched a lot of the United games so far this season, and he just stays on his line. He's awful at the crosses. If you're playing United, just stand out here like an old-fashioned wing. Just stand out here into this little area here and just fire balls across, because the keeper will drop him. He's never coming for him. If he does, come for him, chances are he's going to hit somebody in the head or punch him in the head. But when it drops to this guy on a back post here, he does a terrible skew shot. Now I'm going to show you from another angle as well that the key. Look, one of their defenders, Delo, is the reason that this goal goes in. Okay, it's not because of that, Dosh. It's because of Delo. I'm going to try to find the other angle I can show. If you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know how much I rave about people. Starting position is on the post here. Remember, it's the starting position. The reason you start on the post is so you can come away from the post. All right, that's your starting position, and you can come away and win the ball forward. You don't drop back to the post. If you drop back to the post, and there's 100 other reasons why you start here and you run forward. Well, because if you're running forward, you're getting out of the box, you're putting pressure on the ball, and you're getting everybody offside as you step forward. If you step backwards, you keep everybody in the penalty box onside. So if someone does a crap half volley on the back post, like this guy does, you play everybody onside because you're panicking and dropping back. If you are dropping back from this corner, I've got to put my little camera on and show you my little hand movement, you'll be laughing. If you're dropping back to the post, that basically means you're scared. What do you mean, Cash? That doesn't make sense. You're scared as a defender. Yeah, you're scared. You're not confident that you're going to win the ball. You're all panicky, and you're all running back onto the line to defend the goal. Okay, so watch this guy here. Watch him here. He'll take his little step back, dumph, and he goes back to the post there. When this guy goes to hit the ball, then Bosh, what would have happened? He would have been offside, but he's not because he's playing him on. He would have been clearly offside, no issue, bonk. And then Anana wouldn't have looked like a complete and utter prat. I do think this comes off Anana's head, I can't quite remember. But I don't think he knows he's allowed to use his hands. I think somebody might want to tell him that he can use his hands. If he uses his hands, he might save this. But he doesn't. It hits him in the chest, hits him like poof, goes in. If the ball hits you in the chest, I'm telling you now, you can catch it. You can catch. If it's hit you, you can catch the ball. Now, this next Wolves goal starts at the other end of the field here. I'm going to have to clip it forward so I can don't get hit with the old copyrightness. But right now, when this ball goes here to Mini Rat needs to turn and give it here and keep the ball. And he doesn't. I don't know what he thinks he's doing because he's going to go into nowhere. If he flicks the ball into here, fantastic. He doesn't. He just tries to hold on to it. Loses the ball here for no reason. He falls over, asking for a foul. And then all of a sudden, Wolves are on the break. And it's a good break as well. But the other thing is, when you're just looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players United have committed far forward when they're winning 3-2. They've just been scored on. Wolves have got the momentum. You don't commit that many players forward, all in the central area. It's just poor, to be fair. You just keep hold of the game for a minute, you try to get yourself back in it and pass the ball around a little bit, and you don't get caught on a break like this, which they did. To be fair though to United, they're running back, they're trying quite hard, and they actually look like they had a bit of team cohesionness with their first 11. They're all happy and giving each other high fives, and they looked like they were actually there trying to win a game of football, and they were there working for each other, which you haven't seen for quite a while, but there we go. And you know where the ball's going to go, you know it's going to end up to the wee man down here in the bottom corner. Passed into the man in the middle here. Now, he's doing a good enough job. He's trying to slow him down. He's trying to run back at the same time. Quality, overall, not bad. I'll give him a 4 out of 10 because no one gets anything higher than that from me. He's doing a good job there. He's doing a good job trying to help his teammate. This guy's wide. He's not really a threat this far wide, even though he ends up scoring. You really want to keep your eye on the ball because that's the important thing. When the ball gets played, now you can switch and go to here, which he does. And this is where it gets kind of a bit weird for me because I think the keeper should be doing better. The keeper needs to be going for this ball. I think the keeper's just been completely done with the eyes. He thinks that this guy's going for the back post. He thinks he's going for over here. He's waiting for this ball to get played over here. And he hasn't done that simple thing that I've been saying all day. Watch the football. Don't think the next step ahead. Don't think what you think might happen. Watch the football and watch what is happening. Because when he cuts inside here, he pulls the trigger, and Onana's completely wrong-footed, and it just goes into the bottom corner. Shocking, really. Shocking. He's been done with the eyes. He needs to be doing better. He's a Premier League goalkeeper. And does he need to stick a leg out? Yeah, he does. Again, we're going to talk about overcoaching and awful decision-making here by these guys. Why I say it's overcoaching is because if you've coached as long as I have, you'll actually see it happen all the time. I've heard players yelling on the field, we're in a 2v1, we're in a 2v1. No football players ever yelling they're in a 2v1. They've been told that from a coach and they're repeating it. And guess what? When they're in the 2v1, they lost because there was 2 of them against the 1 player. And the 1 player just played football and beat both of the 2 Muppets. This is going to happen right here in this situation when you watch this go forward here. Right, watch this. Bosh. Here we go. In it comes here. We're actually quite in a nice shape defensively. There's no way he can dribble through all of us. Right, as we come here, watch what this guy does here. Here's the runner. Watch what he does. The most important thing is for him to tackle and go for the football. What does he do? He runs completely away from the football. Doesn't go near it. Tracks the runner. Watch. Tracks the runner. He lets this guy go straight through the middle of the field and pass the ball into the goal. Because of his poor defending. Let's watch that again. Here he is. Here's the Muppet. Right here. Whoop, whoop. Here's the guy he's going to end up tracking for some unknown reason. And I'll tell you why. It's because he's been coached. You've got to track the runner. You've got to go with... No, you've got to win the football first. You've got to go to the football first because that's the important thing. Watch what happens. This guy goes in, boom, goes in there. Look, he's thinking about it. Oh, do I go to the ball? No. He's going to play the ball behind me into that guy. No, he's not. He's just going to walk straight into the space that you run away from for some reason. I run away from it. Oh, look, I've run off. Oh. And he just walks straight into the space and smashed it into the goal because you're a Muppet. That is absolutely shocking at this standard. I mean, that's shocking on the Sunday League standard, but at this standard, it's even worse. But there we go. I'll leave it there, and I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you can.